Hello and welcome back or welcome to the Riley Brakefield Show. I am your host, Riley Brakefield. This is a podcast where we talk about mostly college sports, but pretty much whatever comes to my mind, sports related, politics related, Hollywood related. I'm always trying to find the next big pedophile, you name it, I'm here for it. And once again, if you are a listener and you didn't see my Twitter or Instagram post, I'm sorry if this is coming out a little late. I had a couple personal things going on. Couldn't get around to recording. Was really feeling under the weather. Just could barely even get myself out of bed. But here today, a little later, Tuesday evening recording, watching a little college basketball tonight. I was watching, got Wisconsin and Michigan State on out in the living room. Currently watching the LSU Florida game in here. Just starting to get into college basketball. It's that time of the year now. With college football finally being over, watch that game. Man, what a fucking showing by Georgia. Georgia just came out and did what I see. Here's the thing, man. There's a lot of people going around saying, shouldn't be the most forward deserving. Alabama should have been in there. They could have won this game. They competed. That's mostly just Alabama fans saying that. I don't think that's the case. I think that no matter who Georgia played, this was going to happen. Georgia's just at a different level right now, and that'll happen. The SEC as a conference is usually just at a different level. It's tough to take down a team that's the best. They won a national championship. They have tons of talent. They just did what they're supposed to do, and TCU caught the short end of the stick. They got boat raced. They got beat. They couldn't get anything going offensively. It sucks for them, but that's just kind of how it is when you're going to play a team like this, And saying that Ohio State, I don't think Ohio State would have beat TCU. I think TCU is the better team than Ohio State is. I prefer TCU's offense over Georgia's. I think Georgia just showed up actually in this game. Georgia was sleepwalking through most of the semifinal, but this game they just came out. They came out inspired. They came out ready to play. They were just ready to go from the jump, and they did that. They dominated the run game. They dominated through the air. They just dominated. Now the big conversation is Stetson Bennett, possible NFL quarterback. To me, I have a hard time sometimes with evaluating college quarterbacks when it comes to where they should be drafted, if they're going to be elite in the NFL, because a lot of it comes down to what you have around you. I mean, think about Patrick Mahomes. I think the best he ever did at Texas Tech was like maybe 7-5. Didn't really do very good at Texas Tech, but he's an unbelievable talent in the NFL. Has a good head coach around him. Also has tons of talent around him. That's just how I evaluate it. You have to have the talent around guys in order for them to be good. And then if you have all that talent and then the quarterback's just not producing, then yes, it's the quarterback. But like Stetson, he's got tons of talent. I mean, he's got Brock Bowers as a freaking tight end. He's got Darnell Washington as a freaking tight end. I mean, the talent that team has is unreal. He can just dump the ball off to anyone and they can just go and score. And they know how to get open. They're elite, and they just took advantage of TCU. It sucks because I was riding Frogs heavy. I didn't bet heavy on the game or anything like that, but I was riding with the Frogs. I thought they were gonna win that one, so it was pretty disappointing. I was just kind of hoping for them upset. I really didn't think they'd win, honestly. I was just kind of hoping for something new and something crazy. I love a good underdog story, but it is how it is, man. That's just how the world works. And so we're sitting here with Georgia as national champs. They're going to be favored next year probably. They have a very easy schedule. Probably here in a couple of weeks or so, I'm going to dive into, kind of who to look at next season and kind of give out a way too early top 25 because I see other people do that. And I think they just kind of put numbers together. I'm going to try to come up with a formula that's it's kind of simplistic, but something, I don't know. I have an idea in my head. I want to do something fun, something a little different, just to kind of figure out, who I think is going to be good going into next year. Next year, I think is going to be even more of an open race. I don't know what Georgia's all returning yet, but I mean, they're going to be in prime position to do a three-peat, which would be unheard of. But anyways, today's show probably going to be pretty short here. Not a lot to talk about. I'm just going to hit a couple news things. Not too many NFL thoughts. I'm kind of just going to filter that in here, the news. Got my top 5 as well, and then just a couple of college basketball games. Only on Wednesday night that I'm gambling. Nothing on Thursday looked too interesting. So I'm just going to go a couple of games on Wednesday. But yeah, let's get into it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to do that. And make sure to share with your friends. That's the most important part of all this. If you want to keep listening, you got to help me get a little bit famous so that I can keep doing it, so that it's not a waste of my time. I'm just kidding. I enjoy doing it. I just like sitting here talking to myself, basically, thinking about my friends and family listening and just picturing their faces, and that's who I feel like I'm talking to. It makes sense, right? Works out. A couple of head coach firings happened. Lovie Smith is out at the Texans. Some people are saying it's a little bit racist. They've had 2 black head coaches. 2 really bad seasons, fired them both after. I do feel like Lovey got a little bit of a bad shake there. The Texans as a whole is just a bad roster. There's a lot of work that needs to be done there. We'll see what they do. They've been zeroing in on Josh McCown, it seems like, for years now. It's just a matter of time before they give him that opportunity, it seems like. So we'll see what they do. It's not really a desirable job. It's a tough job. Like I said, that roster I feel like needs a lot of work. There's a ton of holes offensively and defensively. The other big one is Cliff Kingsbury. He got fired. Kyler Murray is supposed to be in on who decides who the next head coach is. Cliff Kingsbury, I feel like this is a long time coming. I don't think that Cliff is a head coach. I've never really thought that he was a head coach. He just doesn't seem to me like he necessarily always knows the right decisions and stuff. He always did have a good track record as an offensive coordinator. There's a lot of talk about him, going back to the college level, being an offensive coordinator. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the route he goes. Alabama, more than likely, I feel like that's where he's going to land. If Bill O'Brien gets sent out the door, that somehow, some way, Saban's going to get Cliff Kingsbury, and it's just going to be fucking annoying, but that's just how the world works, right? Can't do anything about it, just have to deal with it. But that's kind of the interesting one. Broncos, obviously, they have a head coaching vacancy, and the Colts as well. I think those are the only 4 open jobs as of right now. Mike McCarthy might get fired after Monday night, but who knows? That's another thing I saw. The Cowboys actually have a really good chance to apparently go to the Super Bowl because their schedule this season has started out with 1 loss, then 4 wins, then a loss, then 2 wins. It's a pattern that's happened all year long, and they close out the season with a loss. And now they're on the track to win 4 games in a row, which would mean a Super Bowl. We'll see if they do it. I doubt they can. I don't think the Cowboys are that good. I feel like I don't trust Dak. He's not a top-tier quarterback in my opinion. Tom Brady, he just has the Cowboys number. The Bucs are the Bucs. Well, they're not the Bucs anymore. Tom Brady's Tom Brady. It's the playoffs. I think they win this one. Obviously, I'll talk about that more on the next show. But we'll see. The Cowboys I don't think are necessarily a team that's going to do a whole lot. Other big NFL news, Seahawks clinched playoff spot. Lions upset the Packers, or they didn't really upset them. Beat the Packers, knocked the Packers out, obviously. Playoffs are all set. We'll talk more about that later this week. Definitely interested. Giving out a Super Bowl pick right now, it's the Bengals. It's always going to be the Bengals until Joe Burrow retires. It's always going to be the Bengals. Or if the Bengals aren't in, it's still going to be the Bengals. That's just how I am. That's just who I'm going to rock with. That's just how it's fucking going to be. It's always Joe Burrow, baby. It's Joe Burrow. I don't know why I did that. I sound like a bird probably. Cam Rising. Big college football news. Cam Rising has decided to come back to Utah. That's pretty big news. I think he's one of the top 25 quarterbacks in all of college football. Talked about that a couple shows ago. To have real success, you need to have a top tier quarterback, and it goes. You need to have that top tier quarterback. You also need to have that top tier talent for your quarterback to have success. I think Utah has that. The Pac-12 is gonna be fun next year, especially with Cam Rising coming back now. It adds a little bit more extra to it. So excited to see what he can do at Utah next year, make them competitive again, probably win another Pac-12 title. Definitely going to be a real possibility for them. Saw some lady at a casino. I don't exactly know where. They didn't really say the article. It wasn't an article, it was just like a little screen grab thing. Some lady won $43 million at a casino, but then the casino turns around and says it was by mistake and offered the lady a free steak dinner. Could you imagine? You just hit $43 million. That's a ginormous amount of money. You're like, holy shit, my life just changed. And then you go and tell the casino, you want to get your money cashed out, all this stuff, whatever the jazz is, however it was. And they tell you it was a malfunction on the system, but you can get a free steak dinner. That's a fucking legit reason to kill yourself, honestly. You could be riding so high to riding so low. I feel so freaking bad for that poor lady, man. That would literally be the most devastating news I think I could ever get. The high, just how high you would be and excited, and you're like, holy shit, my life literally just changed. I don't have to worry about shit for at least 10 years. I'd probably blow through the money, but just crazy ordeal. But hey, she got steak dinner out of the ordeal. Can't complain too much. At least she got something free. And last little bit of funny news here. I saw former Miss Alabama said that Dwight Howard could not stop farting around her during the the new Special Forces TV show. So going to have to watch that and see how often Dwight Howard, if they catch him farting on there, because that's just an absolute hilariously wild story. Dwight Howard just seems like a nasty fuck to me. I think there's been reports that he's might, swing the other way, but no one really knows. But he's also been rumored he sleeps with some Thailand, boy, girl, so who knows? Dwight Howard is just a weird individual. Last little bit of news here before I get into the top five. It's not really news, it's just kind of something I saw a lot that was on my mind that I found kind of interesting and wanted to share with other people. Saw this theory going around that it's based off the Bible, basically, how God had 6 days, that he was creating heaven and earth and all that stuff, and then the seventh day he rested. So there's this theory created by someone that the earth is only supposed to be around for 6,000 years, that life is only supposed to live on earth for 6,000 years. And in the Bible it says at the end of times are going to be crazy, all sorts of stuff are going to be happening, mostly like stuff we see going on today, people wondering about their gender, mass, people not agreeing, what's the word I'm looking for? Mass conflict, maybe? No, I don't feel like that's right, but something like that. Just a lot of that stuff's supposed to play into the end of times, a lot of what we're going through now. But this theory is that basically the earth is only supposed to have mankind on it for 6,000 years. And historians or whatever they call themselves, or Bible studiers, I don't know, they believe that from when Adam and Eve were brought into the world to Jesus's birth, they believe that's 4,000 years right there. So, obviously Jesus' birth, they don't believe it's 4,000, they believe it's somewhere around 4,000, okay? So 4,000 years right there, and then 2,000 years till now. That would have technically been 2,000 if that was 6,000 years on the dot. So the theory is that we're living through the end of times right now, and that we're only supposed to have mankind on the earth for 6,000 years. If that's true, see y'all on the other side maybe? I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting, the math would add up. It's just kind of an interesting theory, it's one of those things that all kind of just ties together and almost seems too perfect in a sense. I thought it was interesting, so it was nice knowing everybody. Make sure to start doing the stuff you want to do the next couple of years just in case, because you never know. The world apparently is supposed to be coming to an end. But hey, I'm just here telling you the bad news. Don't shoot the messenger. Enjoy your life. Do what you can. Stay blessed. That's all I got to say about that. But I think it's a crazy theory. And here at the Riley Brakefield Show, we fuck with theories. We fuck with conspiracy theories. Heavy, dog. Like, heavy as fuck. Now for this week's top five. This week, my top five reasons not to smoke crack. Pretty simple, but every now and then people need to be reminded why to not smoke crack. I'm doing a little different. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just want to start at the top. Get the good ones out of the way. It just makes more sense. First off, the worst reason why you would want to smoke crack is you may have to perform sexual favors. To smoke crack, like you need it that bad, you're gonna have to blow some random dude to get crack. Come on. That's a perfect reason not to do crack unless you're into that. If you're into giving blowjobs out for free for crack, please keep doing what you're doing and please keep living your best life. Number two, you're more than likely going to lose your job, and then that puts you in a situation where you have to perform those blowjobs because you don't have the money. You don't want to lose your job, so don't smoke crack. Pretty straightforward, but just in case you don't know that, there you go. Third reason, you may lose your wife and kids, and I know people this has happened to. They smoke crack, they lost their wife and kids. It happens, but exactly, you can't smoke crack because that shit will happen to you. So don't smoke crack if you want to have a happy, healthy family. It can do a lot of damage to your children down the road in the future. Just remember that. And also, you don't want to do it to your wife if you really love her, or your girlfriend, or whatever, just your baby mama. Just don't smoke crack. You just keep your family good. You won't run into any issues down the road. Number 4, you're probably going to pick your skin. Do you really want to pick your skin? Like, look at this. I got a nice looking face, a decent jawline, got good skin, no real pimples. I don't need to pick it. So that's exactly why I would not smoke crack, because I want to have beautiful skin. If you want to have beautiful skin, don't smoke crack. It's a waste of your time if you want to be a beautiful person. Last reason. It's pretty obvious. I already kind of said, I don't know why I put this one as the 5th one. No money, because you're spending it all on crack. Spend all your money on crack, you can't enjoy other things in life. Like this Papa John's that's on this commercial right now. You can't just eat that when you're smoking crack. You're probably not going to want to eat pizza. You're probably going to want to eat dirt. You're probably going to eat glass, or you're probably going to eat your own skin because you're so fucking whacked out you have no idea what's going on. So moral of the story, moral of this top 5 is remember to always not smoke crack, but always, always smoke marijuana. That's the best drug there is for you. It's the best drug there is out there. It's better than nicotine. It's better than alcohol. Yes, those are drugs. Everyone knows it. You're stupid if you don't. But don't smoke crack, kids. Okay? That's all I got to say. Those are your top 5 reasons why not to smoke crack. Now to close out the show here, just a couple little college basketball games I'm going to be gambling on over the next couple days. Only on Wednesday, though. Thursday is kind of a boring slate. Wednesday's got 4 good games that I'm looking at here. First one, Alabama, Arkansas. Nate Oates, Eric Musselman, both of them are really, really putting together good programs. They're really, putting themselves in the conversation as those top 10 programs in the country. I really like Arkansas. I really like the direction they're going. Same with Alabama, even though they're Alabama. I really like this game. I think it should be a good one. It's probably gonna be the game of the week. It is at Arkansas. Bama is favored, but I feel like that home court advantage, that playing in your own arena, does play a factor in big games like this. Especially both these teams, they're kind of the same. They're kind of the same, talent wise. I think Arkansas was gonna win. I'm going Arkansas money line tomorrow with that one, and it's really gonna be fun to watch Nick Smith Jr. versus Brandon Miller. Both those guys, have a future in the NBA. I know they do. They're both super talented. It'll be kind of fun to watch them out. If you haven't seen them play, go make sure to check out the game tomorrow night. It's definitely going to be worth it. TCU, Texas, both these teams ranked in the top 20 right now. TCU's been playing some really good basketball. Texas has still been playing good, even though with the firing of Chris Beard and whatnot. Still playing really good. Still top 10 team in the country. I feel like there's going to be a lot of points in this one. Line, the odds weren't out yet when I was looking earlier. Let's see right now. College basketball scores. See if we got any lines for this game. I'm probably going the over. I was gonna go over if it's under 140. Anything around there feels really good to me. Anything over seems like too much of a risk in my opinion. Let's see, they got anything out yet? Yes, they do. At 142.5. Yeah, I like that. At 142.5, I feel like both teams can score. Obviously TCU, I've been talking a lot about them and Miles Price. Excuse me. And he leads TCU scoring. But on the other end, Texas has a guy by the name of Marcus Carr who's really talented. Well, he's averaging about 17 points a game. So Texas can score too. Both teams are pretty good defensively. So that the over could miss in this one, but I feel like it's gonna be more of a points game. So that's why I'm going over 142.5. We'll book that. UConn, Marquette. UConn is really kind of, what am I trying to say? UConn, they were hitting the floor there, lost a couple games in a row, really getting their groove back. They're starting to play better basketball again. Marquette is a tough team, right in the top 25. This one is at home for them, but at -2.5, and UConn, the way they've been playing all year, I know they had those 2 missteps. Doesn't really bother me in that one. UConn -2.5 feels right. I feel like they're going to dominate Marquette and probably win about by 5 or 6. That seems good. Probably even win by more, honestly. But UConn -2.5 is the pick for that one. Last game is Pitt versus Duke. Odds weren't out for this one yet. Looking right now, Duke is favored -8 in this one. That does not go with what I was going to say in this game. Pitt has been good of late. They've even pulled off a couple upsets. They've been playing really good basketball. John Shire, on the other hand, at Duke, they've kind of been struggling. They haven't been playing too well. They've lost quite a few games they shouldn't have. Pitt, to me, has more veteran leadership. The coach has been there a lot longer. He's also a former assistant at Duke, Jeff Capel. Yep, Jeff Capel. So to me, I feel like Pitt, I think, is going to win this one. But seeing the spread at 8 does kind of freak me out. I don't know what Vegas is thinking there. So even think about taking the spread if you don't feel confident in the money line. But to me, the money line just makes too much sense. It just is right there sitting in front of my face, just begging to be taked. Just begging for me to fuck it is what the money line is wanting me to do. So that's today's show. I know it was a little shorter. I'll try to get a nice, big, fat, juicy one for you on Friday. My apologies once again. Had some personal health issues going on. But we're here. We're still kicking out content, doing what we can. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, send to your family members. Show me some love. I appreciate your time. I appreciate listening to this. But for now, your boy Titties is out.